So the first thing that really jumped out at me here is this is basically a process about re-examining the past, figuring out cycles and patterns, and figuring out, are cycles repeating because we needed to learn a specific lesson, or are they repeating because we haven't learned it the first time? So I feel like for some of you, there is somebody in your life and you feel like, oh, it's meant to be. It's a fated karmic type of a relationship. I'm exactly where I need to be with this person, or I'm exactly where I need to be because of this job, because of this location. And so they're really telling you, like, is it really meant to be, or is it coming back around, a cycle, something similar from the past, or, similar to something from the past that is cycling back around because the lesson hasn't been learned. And so I feel like you're kind of in a space where you're taking it and running with it, and you're not really sure if it's meant to be or if it's something that you're still trying to learn. So the important lesson here, I feel, is to be really aware that some things are being recycled or some things come back in because we have to learn something from it, okay? This is a card about self-mastery. This is a card about having really a full confidence in your capabilities. And it's kind of like the idea about, knowing how much you know and then disseminating and sharing your knowledge with other people. Kind of like being in the public limelight so then you can show other people, direct other people, and kind of, I want to say, like, disseminate information so that you can lead others, or so that you can steer others in the right direction. Okay. So I feel like if some of you are in a position in your current work situation and you're dealing with the public, you're constantly in the public eye, you're constantly having to fix problems, you're constantly having to manipulate or resolve or called in to do some type of damage control, I feel like you are exactly where you're meant to be, because there is a skill that you're still learning. And I honestly feel like the skill has to do with leadership capabilities. It's almost like you're being groomed for a position of power, for a position of leadership. And once you have mastered these skills, you're not going to have to work from the bottom of the totem pole where you're dealing with financial scarcity or financial instability, or you're not going to be, that newbie where if there's a turn for the worse in the economy, you're the first that the company or the organization lets go. Okay. So I do see cycles being repeated. I see you learning from the past. And I see in the work environment, you are where you need to be, and you need to upgrade your skills. You need to show leadership. You need to show diplomacy. You need to be able to communicate very, very well. Many of you are making a living based on communication. So, for example, for me, for example, if I'm doing tarot, I'm making a living based on communication, but I feel like it's deeper than that. I feel like it's leadership and communicating in a way where there is no confusion about what you're trying to say, being very firm, but being very diplomatic, which is a fine line that might be difficult for many Aquarius people, because I feel like diplomacy might not be your forte. You see things in a very binary manner, black or white, yes or no. There isn't a middle ground, and you're not somebody that will mold or change your demeanor based on your audience. Okay. So like you have just one singular way of doing things, and you don't really, it's not that you don't take your audience into account, but you feel like what's the best way to do things. And so you don't really bend to cater to other people. And so I feel like there is a concept here about having to learn how to be very, very firm, but also to be very diplomatic so that people like you, so that people respect you, so that people want to hear what you have to say. Having to speak a little bit more rather than from that head chakra, which is so heavily activated within you, where you make connections really fast. You have a lot of intellectual, prowess that you can share, and it's a huge asset. It has always been a huge asset, but communicating more from the heart, kind of like being able to put yourself in other people's shoes so that you know how to adequately persuade them, you know how to adequately help them so that you allow them to feel important. And what does come to mind here is, this entire cluster. So I feel like many of you, I'm going to say this as, I don't like to criticize, but I feel like you might have been accused of this in the past, okay? Where they say like, you know how to solve problems. So if somebody comes to you and they're like, I'm dealing with all of these things, can you help me sort it out? You're very good at sorting it out. You're like, okay, A, B, C, D, done, and it's over with. But that interaction, that transaction, it leaves them feeling like they're just a number. They're just a case. Like it's very impersonal. And you like to do that. You like to make things very impersonal. Because when your emotions are worked up, when you're personally invested, you can't work as fast because, you're bogged down by these other superfluous feelings. And that's why you like to function in a very efficient, in a very detached, in a very depersonalized way. However, if you are being groomed for a leadership position, you need to learn how to communicate in a way that allow other people to see how important they are in your life, which is, it's going to annoy you, Aquarius. When someone thinks that they have so much importance in your life, you kind of scoff at that, right? And so if you're in a position of power, if you're in a position where you're being groomed to achieve a lot more, you're going to have to conform and you're going to have to change yourself just a little bit to make people feel important, to honestly make people feel that you appreciate them, make people feel wanted and needed, and make people feel that they can approach you when things go awry because you've got their back, right? So I feel like there is a massive, I guess like a strategy that you need to adopt in your work environment so that you can get yourself where you need to be, okay? This card came out here and it shows up here, King of Wands in the reverse position. Let me talk about this as an energy first. This is a card about somebody that is in a supervisory, in a managerial position. They wield a lot of power. They don't even have to, get up from their throne. They have minions doing the work for them. And when it shows up in the reverse position, you're a very hands-on type of person. You like to get out there, be on the front of that battlefield to do the work. You don't mind getting your hands dirty. You learn through experiencing it. So for you to be working behind the scenes, directing people, telling people what to do, that's not really your style. You take a very egalitarian stance when it comes to hierarchy, when it comes to office politics. You don't like to be, if you're a leader, you don't like to be on your pedestal directing other people. You want to be kind of like in the trenches, working alongside other people. And you yourself, you're very independent. I don't feel you would be okay with delegating because there is deep down this sense of I can do it best. And if I delegate, somebody's going to mess up. If I give them, something to do, they're going to mess up. So I need to be careful and I just need to do it myself. So the point here is learn to delegate, learn to be more of, learn to ease up a little bit, learn to sit back and especially, show appreciation, because I feel like that's going to allow a lot of people, you're going to be able to win a lot of people over to your side. Okay. I'm sensing there is a work environment here where you are outstanding, like you're shining. People are noticing that. They're noticing these leadership capabilities within you. But I also feel like you don't want to, uproot this position. They might want you to take on more responsibilities and you don't really want to do that. They might make you, manage a team and you don't want to do that because you want to work independently. And so I feel like the energy is you can't really have everything that you want. And so one of the skills that you really need to master for in this work environment for now, for this month, or until, further down the line, until the new year, is learn to make people feel important, okay? Be approachable, and especially show the appreciation. Teamwork is really important. And, you are very other oriented, you're very team oriented. But I also feel there's this energy here about, I don't want to delegate because I don't want other people to mess up. I want to do it right, and I want to do it my way. So that sense of independence, I feel like it needs to be curbed a little bit. Okay. So moving forward, what I have here, let's look at this entire spread. So first of all, I feel like these are relationship partners. For many of you, we have here a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And this might be somebody that you have separated from, okay? You are moving on with your life. Life is looking very sweet, prosperous, and things like that. I feel like the world is opening up to you. But I feel like every once in a while, you still think about this person. You still think, you still want to know whether or not they're okay. You're still very much emotionally in tune with that person, and you want them to be okay. But I feel like there was a lot of hurts and possibly betrayal in the past associated with this fire sign. It can be Sun, Moon, or Rising, and I feel like they might have made promises to you. They might have distorted the truth when they talk to you. They might have, I'm sensing like they might have just been outright deceitful. And so you've left this person behind. You have a new person coming into the picture. I have here a water sign, so Queen of Cups. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, and this can be male or female. Basically, this energy is somebody who's a lot more genuine, okay? Like very sincere, loves completely, and I feel like this person is somebody that is very nurturing, very loving, very caring. They know how to rough it out when things get hard. They know how to calm you down, and they have a very stabilizing influence in your life. So many of you are involved with this person. And I'm also sensing as well that you might see a relationship with this person as something that is, it's okay, but is it the best? So once again, we're trying to figure out, how is this going to work? There might be an element of distance between the two of you. There might be like a lot of obligations from their end. I'm sensing you're dealing with somebody who is like very emotionally up and down. Okay. They might have a lot of things they're juggling. They might have 2 jobs. They might have a lot of financial responsibilities. And so it's hard for the two of you to form a relationship together. I'm feeling as well with this Queen of Cups, it could also be your energy for this month where you're feeling very proud of yourself. You're feeling of your proud accomplishments. You're feeling, really good about the positive reception and the attention that you're getting in the work environment. But your financial situation, your money is not like, it's not comparable to all the skills, all the knowledge, all the good work that you bring to this work environment. So I feel like you might be shortchanged financially. You're putting in a lot of work. You're very irreplaceable, but financially, you're not being compensated what you feel you deserve. Okay? So I also feel a little bit of a slowdown for this month. Okay? So if we have here an earth sign, a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, there might be financial discussions between you and them. And if you have children with them, there's going to be a discussion about, financially providing for children as well. If you share children with a water sign, there might as well, water sign from the past even, I feel like there's going to be some discussions about money. There's some discussion about money that is not being paid out, money that was promised, but for whatever reason, it is being stalled, okay? My advice is, Aquarius, don't be naive, okay? Don't be naive. I feel like you have a big heart, you have a good heart, and you do see the best in people. But I feel like if it happens over and over and over again, and we're talking about cycles here, why do people come back? Why do the same energies happen, with different people? It's because there are patterns, or there are cycles, or there are lessons that you haven't really learned. And so if this sounds familiar, I feel like the important lesson is don't be naive. Look at the situation in realistic focus. Don't see what you want to see because somebody is kind of like pulling a fast one over you. So it's really important to dig a little bit deeper, do your proper research, assess a situation as honestly as you can, and don't be so quick to come to the aid and the assistance of someone just because you feel like, oh, they're in a jam, or you feel like, oh, they can't really do it. I want it done right, so I'm going to step in. Let them learn things their way, okay? Focus on you, let them learn things their way. But when it comes to finances, I feel like there is some shady financial dealing. Money that is supposed to go to you is not going to you. There's some delay. Or in your work environment, I feel like you're not paid enough for all your skills and all the mastery of these skills that you're bringing to the table.